while you hang out at your mother's boyfriend's house, your monster's gonna eat your only real friend.
Crack open a cold box of wine or pour something cold on ice because it's the Binge-Watchers podcast.
Before we get to tonight's movie, which is Hatching on Hulu, we got some headlines to jump over to. Actually, folks, Top Wolf has arrived. What is it? It's just Top Gun with werewolves. A few weeks ago, we created a parody of the Top Gun movies, and we really worked it out. And we thought it'd be great if it was like a revenge story with werewolves. And we were just talking before the show about how we could work out the scenarios of who's the werewolf, how the werewolves get made, stock footage of airplanes, because we're not paying for anything. This movie's cheap. It's in one room with props. Dave mentioned you could get the style of a couple different movies, like anything by the Asylum production house, or Dave mentioned a movie with his name in it. Dave Made a Maze. This idea that everything's made of like cardboard is perfect. But we did release some merch just in time for Halloween with some Halloween vibes. You can actually get like our official Top Wolf merch. Get it in a coffee mug. You can get it on a t-shirt, some wall art. As we record tonight, Dave inadvertently wore the same color jacket as the wolf. So, spoiler alert, maybe Dave's the werewolf this whole time. David, you got something to say for yourself?
Makes sense. I am the hairiest, I guess.
I was just going to say, you're looking rather hairy right now, Dave.
So, who knows? Maybe we'll find out by the end of the episode.
Okay. A good reason to tune in for 40 minutes of whatever. What else is going on? Oh, Constantine 2 has finally happened with Keanu Reeves. So, the Hellblazer comic books, I think, are in the DC Vertigo line. It's about a dude that does magic. He smokes a lot of cigarettes. He's got lung cancer. He's going to die. He's like the devil's puppet. Sometimes he helps out Justice League Dark, which is like Swamp Thing and some other witchy characters that are like good guys in the DC world. Every once in a while, he hangs out with Batman. They made some cartoon movies of him. They made a TV show that lasted like one season, but it obviously wasn't Keanu Reeves in the TV show. The Constantine movie, believe it or not, it's actually not bad. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Dave's probably seen it.
I know, yeah.
We talked about it a couple times.
I think you got me to sit down while you had like the special 2-disc DVD that came out of it at the time. It's actually I've seen it a couple times, I think, over the years, and it still holds up pretty well. I mean, I wish they'd kind of get rid of the only thing that bothered me was Shia LaBeouf's character because he was young and annoying at the time. At least the character was. But no, I'd be excited to see if they do a new one.
Hey, Jordan, is that on your list of things?
It's on the
I whispered it so you wouldn't get in trouble. That's good.
The never-ending list of things that I need to see. Yeah.
What about this? Have you seen the images coming out from the new Hellraiser movie with Jamie Clayton? I think is the actress that's going to play the new Pinhead.
Nope,
Miss Pinhead.
Seen the images. Nope.
Oh dang! Yeah. Now let me ask you this.
Oh god.
We may have actually asked you this before, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Jordan, have you seen any of the Hellraiser movies?
Nope. Okay. I'm getting grilled tonight. So
actually, 1, 2, and 3 are kind of like one long story, so you could at least I don't know. Not like you have a life or anything. Just like call your friends and cancel the next 3 days of your life and just watch Hellraiser.
I should just like take a 5-day staycation and just like knock out the entire list. Could be cool.
Oh, that's funny.
Man.
Yeah.
I know she watched tonight's movie. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. The three of us watched Hatching, which is like a Finnish domestic horror movie about a demanding mother that's driving her daughter crazy until a doppelganger comes between them. And it's spooky. Right from the beginning, it has like a creepy tone. It's got the eerie music. Clearly something's wrong with the way the mom interacts with the daughter. It's wild.
Yeah, if a
And-
child is harmonizing in the beginning, I'm like, it's gonna be good. Yeah.
The last time you can't trust singing is in Step Brothers, where this brother's a douchebag. You know what I mean? He has 2 little kids and his wife regaling him on the way to the brother's house for Thanksgiving. Sing like that. So anytime a movie sets you up with singing, sing-alongs, or songs, and the family's just a little too happy, nobody's fighting at the dinner table, you're headed for trouble. It's definitely a horror movie. And it happens quickly. I think this is a pretty good running time. It doesn't have too many slow parts. Now let's find out whether Dave liked it or not, because Dave's going to deliver some dangerous facts about tonight's movie. And they better be dangerous, as we like to say around here. David?
I don't know. They're mild. I don't know.
Wow.
So actually, this is the director Hannah Bergholm, if I'm saying it right. Hannah Bergholm's directorial debut. Before this, she had done a lot of shorts and TV work. Casting of the main role of Tinja, I hope I'm saying that right, Tinja, was challenging because it was a dual role. So they had to find the right young actress that could play two very different roles. The creature, which I guess we'll get into in a bit, was a combo of puppetry in the beginning, and they would have different performers with maybe prosthetics and some CGI tweaking would play the creature in different developmental stages. And so this will probably tell you what I thought of the movie, because I pulled this little quote. So critic Eric Cohn is quoted as saying that this movie could appeal to the fans of the Swedish monster movie Border. And coincidentally, we just covered that a month ago or so.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I think we all like that, if I can recall. So
we did.
Oh, yeah.
John is just frozen.
I'm toggling cameras. I'm not freezing. I'm trying to pull up this thing.
Top
Yeah.
wolf.
Yeah, it's a wolf. Why is it here? It's our Top Wolf design. Support the show by buying a t-shirt with Top Wolf on it. It's right in time for the Halloween season. Basically, it's a parody movie poster plot. We came up with an idea. It was funny. It was like basically, do a parody of Top Gun, but include a werewolf. Call it Top Wolf. Here it is. If you're watching on YouTube, it says Top Wolf. The guy's busted out of the jet. Today, Dave's actually wearing a Wolfman t-shirt, calling himself Wolfman. Says he's the hairiest guy in the podcast. Don't know. We haven't measured from head to toe. We may not. That's the X-rated version. You got to pay for that. Subscribe, especially to David's VOD, okay? Instead of OnlyFans, it's onlydavid.com/Wolfman. Oh, and buy a werewolf t-shirt. I'm way off book here. You got anything to add there, Dave? Here, I'll put you in the center square. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, buy a Top Wolf, put it on a mug, put it on a shirt, put it on a hoodie. I don't know.
Supports the podcasters and the artists who drew the wolf. There you go. Yeah, I badgered them all day. We need it in this color and that color. Make sure the logo. Do you guys know the logo is hidden in the tail of the jet?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh, I see it.
Oh, wow.
David, what was the detail you noticed? He said, "Oh, I just realized it's a bloody moon and the full moon in the background."
Oh,
well, it's a blood moon. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Makes sense.
It's like a good movie. Each time you look at it, you see something new.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
I do have one more thing to say. I forgot. Whoops. It's Jordan's fault. Right to her. Frank.
It was me.
Right to HR. Tell somebody. Don't tell me. Okay. So, sponsor us because you love us, and we'll deliver your brand message with some love right back at you. Visit us at sales@bwpodcast.com and book your story of Top Wolf 2 or whatever you want us to promote. David, what kind of products do you want, David?
I don't know.
He wants more free movies.
Yeah,
that he doesn't have time to watch.
Stuff.
We'll get into his complaining later. All right.
Oh, jeez.
Before we get into old man David's complaints, now you're an old man. I said Wolfman, now I'm saying old man.
It's more like drunk man.
Actually, David was like, I can't watch the Hachi, and I gotta tap into the audio description. I gotta move this from my Roku to my phone back and forth. Guys, look out. I'm like, nah, dude. You just turn on Hulu and go into the settings and be like, oh yeah, English subtitles, Finnish audio. It plays normally, just fine. Dave was starting some shit, getting some drama going right away.
My Roku did the thing that I hate that it does, which is it just thinks I only want to hear English, even though it's not in English.
It must
So
just
it just
be
switched
like,
over.
yeah, it must just be a setting on the movie because mine was totally the same way.
Wait,
With,
you
like,
had
the
a problem
audio
too?
description. Yeah, I was actually on the treadmill because I
Oh
do
my
that
gosh.
sometimes. And I like didn't have my headphones and I'm like trying to run and it's like yelling at
Right,
me.
so it
about
must be the default setting on
selection.
Hulu, but you can just go click and change it.
Yes, if you
Yeah.
and like I obviously change the audio quite often because I'm a subtitles person like through and through, and so
And
if they're not
David, I
on,
want you to know you became a meme, and they're loving it on TikTok, brother.
Oh, sweet. I've always wanted to be a TikTok.
I've always wanted to be a TikTok. Life goals.
Yeah.
Bucket list.
I mean,
Dude,
I'm glad you
this
made
was
it.
like the weekend of drinking for me, and I don't drink that often, but I'm like, I kind of had a lax weekend. Got all my chores did, and then I had way too many and couldn't figure out Hulu's stupid audio thing.
See, when I put a spotlight on the video on David, it's like he's in a confessional.
Oh,
how much drinking did you do, Dave? You were just telling us a minute ago how much drinking you did.
Oh, a bit more for me.
Dave, you thought this was a podcast, but actually, your friends and family have gathered tonight to talk to you about some things. We want to make sure you have a fun and safe Halloween, and you don't go streaking in the quad.
Oh, man.
That's another movie reference. Jordan knows what movie it is. I'm sure of it.
Maybe.
She doesn't want to spoil anything. She loves it so much. She's going to just let the audience at home play along and guess which movie I'm talking about.
What I should always say when you guys put me on the spot.
I don't want to ruin this movie. Yeah. Well, what about favorite bits from this movie, Jordan?
Okay, I'll kick it off as always.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely some bits. Probably my favorite is when the creature Ollie is like stalking her friend walking home from gymnastics. I'm sure this is like one of everyone's bits, but
should we describe what the monster looks like?
Well, okay, let's start from the beginning, right? It's just this teeny tiny egg that grows super, super big until this giant egg, which finally hatches. And it's like kind of having an ET moment with the main character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm like, oh, we got some ET up in here. Because it's like feeling the way that she feels, and it's just kind of crazy. And then it hatches, and it's this absolutely hideous bird human creature, like really long forearms and just missing hair and baby feathers. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's got like nostrils plus a beak plus teeth plus a beak plus skin plus feathers.
Yeah.
So it's already like a half human, half bird like hybrid.
It is not cute. And then just like slowly over time, it's taking over the look of the main character. Yeah, super wild. And so it's like that in between moment between like her in her full metamorphosis to like bird right after she sheds her beak and she's like stalking the neighbor. And you
with
see
a dripping face, it's all skeleton.
Oh, so gross because it's like it's broken up skin and flesh and like exposed teeth. It was pretty spooky, and they built it up right. Like the shadow creeps up on her, and she turns around and she's not there, and then all of a sudden she turns around and Ollie's just standing there, wretched sounds coming out of her mouth hole, and yeah, so. Definitely my favorite bit, but some pretty good jumps throughout the movie. What about you, Dave?
Sitting here more and more thinking about it, there's quite a few things. I'll try to be brief, but I don't know. This movie had a good sense of humor. I'm glad you brought up the ET thing. Like it felt very much like a twisted kids movie. There's another bit where maybe it only connects with me, but like. In the beginning, there was a funny shot, at least to me, where it showed the whole family unit, and it felt very much like what I call Lady and the Tramp kids, which is cartoons in which two cartoon characters have kids, and like the girls look exactly like the mom, and the boys look exactly like the dad, and it felt like that's what they were going for with the look of the kids. Like the son looks exactly like the father.
Also, but the mom is twisted like Mommy Dearest style, where she has to control everything, and she's like kind of engineering that family, right? Like the way they look at everything.
Definitely so. I kind of predicted it, and yet it still grossed me out to watch it. How one feeds a baby bird.
Yeah.
Throwing up
man.
and yeah.
That's on my list.
That's 2 weekends of vomit, because let me tell you, last weekend with the old man who throw ups on the counter during the movie. Do you know?
Yeah.
You remember that scene? Oh my god, I
Oh,
just
man.
must have a really weak gag reflex these days. But I was the one last weekend. I was like coughing on the treadmill to not throw up. But anyways, this movie, gross.
No, it's but what's so funny is like for all the gross stuff, I can't say this is necessarily a favorite bit, but just how effective this movie was. For as gross as the gross stuff was, the stuff that shocked me the most was like the lack of empathy or just the evilness, for lack of a better term, for the mother. The mother was just like one of the purest evil villains that I've seen in a while. Just her lack of empathy or just her lack of awareness of like the stuff she's telling her kid and like confessing to her kid, just like, hey, basically like, just deal with it. I'm cheating on your dad. Is it,
again,
undertone.
it's just filled with like inappropriate stuff. You know what I mean? Like their relationships are like all out of whack. Yeah.
super twisted.
What about you, John?
Sorry, is it my turn? Okay. Well, hold on. We unfold the list. It's 2 pages. All right. Like every 10 minutes, the mom does damage to the daughter's psyche. That's kind of ties in with exactly what Dave was saying. I love that the tears of the girl, Tinja or Tina, we'll just call her Tina for short, or Tanya. I don't know. It's like a whatever. Anyway, the little girl, her tears activate the transformation in the egg. One of the first things that the monster does, is Dave kind of mentioned it, he eats like a bird, so she has to, as Jordan's favorite thing to see in cinema, puke it out everywhere. Regurgitation, little baby birds. And then the joke I made in the beginning of the episode before the theme song played, that she has to spend the weekend at her mom's boyfriend's house while her only true friend... Oh, I froze. Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, my video froze. I don't know why. Come on, camera. Come on, little Cammy.
It could be worse. Right. So
anyway, I was saying that. Come on. There we are. Little twist of the cord there. Didn't bite it with my teeth. Nobody saw it. Can't confirm it. Tell Frank. HR, not my problem. Where was I? Oh, that, she has a friend in school who's actually like generally concerned for her well-being, and then like goes out of her way to socialize with her when her other friends are kind of being bullies. And then like, the thing eats her or tries to eat her, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess spoiler alert, her little friend isn't dead, but it's actually worse than death. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. When you see this kid in the hospital, it's horrifying. You know what I mean? Like it's probably worse than dying. Oh, but then I thought, here's another spoiler alert. Well, actually, you know what? I'll leave this one. I won't leave it in a favorite bit. I'm going to tie it into how I rate the movie, because something happens in the movie that affects the way that I rate the movie. Okay. So, my other favorite part was that the dad knew, in fact, he was a cuckold. Yes. My camera froze. That's what I was going to say. Like, the dad knows he's being cockled, and he doesn't. I won't tell you what he thinks of it. You have to watch the movie. I'm trying to spoil everything, guys. Okay.
He feels very much like Jerry and Rick and Morty. Maybe it's just because I watched the most recent episode. Now that's in my head.
Like the Danish version of freaking, the Finns are going to kill me now. The Finnish version of like a Rick and Morty, right? Which would be Rick and Morty, because their episodes are so weird. They can be anybody at any time. So.
Yeah.
Let's read it.
Okay. It was Binge Now for me. I liked it a lot. Definitely was creepy enough for me to recommend to people. So, what about you, Dave?
Yeah, it's a Binge Now for me too. This is my kind of weird, and it has because it's such a new movie. I don't want to give everything away, but it has kind of a very interesting ending, and you can look at it a couple ways, but I won't give that away. But yeah, Binge Now for me. John?
Oh, you're going to go to me before you go to Jordan?
No, I already went.
She was first.
Oh, sorry. See, I'm paying attention to the notes and camera angles. Like, I'm not. I'm like half in, half out, just like the plot of the movie. No, just kidding. Okay. The entire movie, I was lining myself up for a Binge Now. Let's not get too excited. let's not like ruin it for the other people, especially when Dave was like freaking out about the Roku devices with the languages because you have to turn the subtitles on for this movie. I was like halfway through the movie and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna send him pictures of the monster. I'm gonna tell them what I think so far. I held off. So it was gonna be a binge now. We gotta watch this now. It's a great horror movie for 2022. Start your freaking scary season early with this one. It's on Hulu right now. But actually, the last 8 minutes of the movie convinced me to go binge it later. And this is why, like a movie like this, there's 3 things can happen by the end of the movie. And it follows horror movie rules pretty much to the end. It's like either the girl can kill the monster, 2, the monster kills the whole family, or 3, the girl becomes a monster somehow, right? And they went with like your doppelganger switches places with you, but it's like the family in their tragedy and grief. It's like they just bought a puppy. It's like their dog died and they immediately went to the pet store, got another puppy because they just looked at the doppelganger, which is essentially a clone with a monstrous eating habit. But, speaking their language at the end of the movie, so they're just like, all right, that's our daughter now. That's little Tinya now.
But see, that's where I think, there is that interpretation, but there's also like the mom has a shocked look at the end. So like, I don't know if she is going to go through with keeping her as the daughter as a replacement.
Oh, she
definitely gets cut off.
It's open-ended,
like,
I think.
Exactly. Yes. Open-ended for you to like, interpret or like fill in what you think could happen or did happen. And
they're on such a routine and the mom wants to win because she lost out clearly. I mean, there's a physical indicator that she was a gymnastic as well, but maybe had an injury. If they covered it in the movie, I missed it, but it's implied that she was a gymnast first when she was a kid, right? Is that telling them too much? Am I ruining the movie now saying the mom was a gymnast? And that's why she's pushing the daughter.
No, I think that's such a small. I think it's just a general mom pushing her kid for her dreams kind of a situation. I don't think that's like the biggest thing in there.
Except the boyfriend stuff is so twisted and it doesn't really fit in. But I'm thinking that must happen. That must happen. And it's funny that like, where's the Finnish trailer park? Because this is like, I want to call Dave up on the phone and be like, we got some Barstow Lifetime Movie of the Week happening right now, David. What?
What the funny thing is, bringing up the mom's boyfriend, he was strangely like the best person for that girl. Like he was like the best adult with her, like actually treated her like a person, like she should have. Yeah,
Well, like, I'm sure in the beginning he probably didn't know anything about the other family, but then it was too late. He was sleeping with her at one point. I could like extend that the mom's probably manipulating like everybody around her, but
oh yeah, for sure.
Well, manipulation for sure, but he's like up in their house doing repairs and stuff. He sees the family photos. He's not stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, you have to kind of stretch your imagination to even know that guy's backstory. Like, they said he's a widower or whatever, and there's no other person around. Unless this is so twisted that the mom killed the other lady. Who knows? Like, I feel like this movie could do anything, really. Yeah, the most horrific thing is the friend in the hospital, and it reminded me of that other movie with the vampire girl and her little assistants that burns themselves with acid. What is that movie?
Oh, Let the Great One In.
Yeah, which that series is about to drop now, finally, on Showtime.
Oh, is it? I hadn't even heard of it. I mean, I've heard about it, but I didn't know it was ready.
Well, I guess overall, it's a binge now. You guys rated it so highly that even my little bit of negativity there on this movie doesn't really matter.
Pish posh.
I love the animatronics in the beginning. My favorite form of the monster is the one in the bathtub. Feathers and bone and teeth and beak.
I don't know. Mine is like when it's having a transformation in the middle of the night, and it's like, yeah. And when she puts the dress on it, I'm like, this is freaking me out. Yeah, that's not quite a half human yet. So they did a good job with it for sure.
We've been teasing Jordan all night about the movies she did or did not watch. Have you caught up on anything?
No. I am like I'm so deep into my documentaries right now. They just keep coming out with some juicy ones.
But now
I wonder if you watched the. I'm holding my tongue because I think I watched probably what you watched.
Are we there yet, David? Are we there yet, David? We're not there yet, David.
Getting close, huh?
Not yet.
Yeah, we're almost there. Jeez, people skipping ahead to their favorite chapter. What else did I watch besides this freaking hatch an egg movie. Let's scrambled egg it. All right.
I was teasing it before fan service, okay? And I think Dave and I
Yeah.
might have a twin staff pick this week. So
Yeah. You were also tweeting about it, I think, the other day.
I
so,
was a little bit.
Yeah. Dave, get on our Twitter. What are you doing, man?
I don't get on any Twitter. Like
You were happy about TikTok, and now you're like, Twitter, please. Let me cut a few slices of cheese.
I don't even
I don't have time for you. Let me put my little glasses on while I watch the funeral that's never ending for a queen.
Or anybody get on my Twitter. I mean, I think it's just you and I. It's just where John and I have conversations. So whatever.
Like, retweet, comment. Yeah.
That's about it.
It's kind of a silent, it's kind of like an inside conversation. Yeah. I don't know.
If you keep seeing me jerk my head, it's because like we have all of a sudden lightning storm going on or thunderstorm.
Well, Dave's sitting in the middle of the raging iron storm, huh?
YouTube
what was I gonna say?
Fan service.
Oh, fan service. What do we got? We got a comment that I don't even understand. I was telling David about it before. POV. Do you remember that, Dave? What did I say?
I remember us I don't remember exactly what you said. I remember us discussing it.
All right, damn it. Hold on. Stall for time.
Probably,
Dave had to answer a comment for the first time in his life.
No, I've answered a couple.
But then he wrote on my comment rather than just simply replying to the guy.
I commented on one was the comment and your comment, and then I gave him a general comment.
It's a weird night for technology. I forget to do something. Dave says he's in the storm, but then Jordan's camera is the one that cuts out. Have one of those cursed nights, David.
Beverage, so.
Well, I better turn the volume down because I just want to read comments. I don't actually want to play the video. Hold on.
I'm surprised,
Somebody wants a Rena Williams The Adventure Begins review. That's what it was, and I think Dave replied on that. And crap, Dave. That's when you're supposed to tell a story about.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep having lightning freaking me out in here. No, it's funny. It's funny that they had brought that up because, well, I know Fred Ward's been a topic of this show with Tremors, which is awesome. But somebody suggested Rena Williams, which I know came up on 2 other podcasts that I listened to aside from Binge-Watchers. So I guess the world is telling me I need to watch Rena Williams at some point, maybe before the end of the year.
Whoa. Where did it go? So I swear it's going to be worth it. No. POV : you misclicked. But they said that to us about our video. Jokey, I don't know. Jokey sounds like the C word, but or Jexy, JXYKUN, I don't know. Jordan, does that make any sense?
No, it does
I
not.
can't translate
Point of
it.
view, and then it's a video, or a point of view, and then it's something else.
I don't know. They could be dogging us hard and saying they misclicked on the video. They didn't intend to watch the video, but it's one of our shorter clips and it's funny, so I don't know.
Well,
but then they're mostly positive. Dave said he freaking said, dude wants us to watch Rena Williams. Oh, I don't know if we'll ever get that. That's another weird.
So next week on the podcast.
Okay. You guys can have your little powwow about this show. Go for it.
Okay, staff picks. Of course, I've been into the documentaries lately, and Netflix came out with one called Sins of Our Mother. And it is so... I don't like to use the adjective good because it's truly so devastating. But I have not seen this good of a true crime documentary in so long. And there's still court cases to be had next year. So it's like the story's still unfolding. But it is just absolutely tragic. I don't want to give any details. I just think that you need to go see it for yourself. It's about 3 episodes, super quick watch. And I needed somebody to watch it right away after I finished it so I could talk about it with someone. And so, that's all I will say. But yeah, I don't know if you want me to give more details about it. It's pretty much insane, but.
Well, to make it easy, actually, I coincidentally watched it all today, and it's like all 3 episodes are like one movie. But I coincidentally knew, so I'm interested because did you know anything about the case before watching this documentary?
No, I had
Okay.
had no idea. Yeah.
Okay, so it was a real twister and turner for you, or like real.
Yes.
Because
Yep.
my wife is huge into crime doc, not just like the Netflix stuff. Like she watches YouTube channels and all this stuff.
Mhm.
So this was a big court case a couple years ago. So I was pretty well, knowledgeable about the situation. There's still some interesting stuff, but like it's kind of interesting to hear you talk about it, not knowing anything about it and where that goes. Especially just not producing the kids. Like for anybody who doesn't know, this is basically about a mother who all of a sudden her kids are missing, and courts are saying like she's telling everybody that they're still alive, they're fine, and the courts are saying you have to produce evidence that your children are alive, and she keeps skirting it.
You mean that, like, they even exist?
No, they were real. This was not like
Real
a fake
kids.
situation. But
she just couldn't produce them in person. Like people were doing welfare checks on the children, and she would reassure everyone they're okay, they're okay, they're okay.
Oh wait. So
were, in fact, not.
What you're really saying is you're describing that everybody's wondering where this mother's children are the whole time.
Yes.
And she keeps pacifying them and like pushing them off. All right.
Like
this
statewide, people are looking for them.
Strangely, this has some things, not entirely, but this has some things in common with.
Is this like before they had like specific check-ins with kids or whatever? And
no, this was in the last couple years. This was like
This is in 2020. Yeah, this is like in
the
height
that's
of
wild.
the pandemic.
That's super wild. Yeah, people are gonna tune into this because this is a crazy story.
It happens in Idaho, interesting so you can imagine that they didn't have like big pandemic laws and stuff, and so like wild west out there. I don't think that those people. Yeah, it was wild. It's crazy. So
it was like one of the big news stories when we were all in lockdown. So I remember it quite well when it was happening. So it's kind of interesting. Like it's good. I guess we have two perspectives. If you know the story already through news, or if you don't, it's worth a watch. Because there's still a lot of stuff. I didn't know she was like on Wheel of Fortune of all things. Like, that's a weird detail. But
I know, kind of weird too. She has this like super big interest in like being high profile and like being involved with like whatever. She like in the Miss America pageant, or she was in some sort of pageantry, and then does Wheel of Fortune.
She gave off a lot of vibes. You know, it's so funny in a strange way. This is a weird companion piece to the movie we just watched, because she's very much felt like a controlling mother, like in that movie.
I mean, it's
What's the name again, so people don't forget? What is it called?
Sins of Our Mother.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, it's like one of the top shows on Netflix right now. But again, it's like 3 episodes. It's like the equivalent of one movie or one documentary.
Well, when Jordan first mentioned it, we had natural sound effects because Dave's sitting through a thunderstorm, he said, and every once in a while the thunder crackles through the microphone. It's hilarious. And when she first brought up the title, I watched this horrible thing that this mother did.
I mean, it is pretty horrible.
Speaking of technical difficulties, Dave, I feel like you have Podfade. Do you know what that is? And it's not erectile dysfunction, if that's what you're wondering.
It's something completely different. What is Podfade?
So Podfade is a podcast industry term where they talk about a podcaster running out of steam, getting burnt out on all the podcasts that he, she, them, or it are doing. And so, I was wondering if you were experiencing a little bit of Podfade the other day, because I literally said, October's around the corner. We're going to start talking about these horror movies we're going to watch, and there's all these new things coming out. There's sequels, there's requels, there's prequels. There's wild things happening, so we gotta lock this down. And I
was just looking at
there's a couple weeks, couple things in October we got lined up for you. We'll be like watching 2 or 3 movies at a time, banging out double features, triple features. Now, I feel like at this point in the podcast, I should remind you the name of the podcast, David, is Binge-Watchers Podcast, which means we probably watch movies. Maybe more than just one at a time?
No kidding. When you like 3 movies that drop on a Friday and we're recording on the following Monday, we're like, all right, guess I got my weekend locked down.
No, God forbid should I ask a movie watcher to watch 1 extra movie while they're watching movies.
Sometimes 2. Sorry.
Wow.
I'm just
whatever. I'm desperate to stay home. So pile it on, John, because I am exhausted of summer. I'm ready
to get wellness checks about Jordan because he's just watching movies for a month. She's just locked in.
Oh man,
I'm cool with it.
Yeah. I don't know. Should we preview any of the titles on the lineup, or just let it go? Let it be a mystery.
Follow
I don't
your
know.
heart.
I don't know. Maybe like one or two. I don't know.
Well, we already mentioned the Hellraiser, so sure enough, if they've listened to any of our 3 or 4 or 5, 6,000 Hellraiser episodes, we're pretty big fans of Hellraiser, at least part 1, 2, and 3. Jordan.
All right, maybe we'll tease another
Put it on
one
the
just
list.
because it's the talk of the town at the moment, or at least the trailer was not too long ago. I guess we're going to be putting ourselves.
And there's some fans out there that think they're diehards and they're complaining about the female Hellraiser, but actually, diehard fans would know the origin or the legends of the book stories, and the novels that he's written in. Like, there were 2 Hell Priests. There was a male one and a female one. And they're saying her characterization is more accurate to the original story, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing from a lot of the fans saying, well, that's actually more accurate. They're supposed to be androgynous or,
Shape-shifting.
Not like exactly one sex or another.
Well, it's called Hellraise Her, not Hellraise Him, right? Just kidding.
That's the other thing she does, folks. She doesn't watch classic movies, and she makes a ton of puns. She's developing a whole style here.
Kick
like
me
that.
out.
Yeah, it's all right. What else should I say? Obviously, we're gonna watch Hocus Pocus 2. Obviously, we might see how bad Rob Zombie's freaking Monsters movie is. Good things to look forward to. Well, we already mentioned Hellraiser. We're gonna finally get to some 80s movies that we've never seen, believe it or not. New for us as well, which I also thought would be up Dave's alley. Be super excited, but he's like, John, I can't do it, man. I got plans. I get 3 movies. 3 movies.
It's the turnaround time that was the problem. The turnaround.
Oh,
time.
by the way, you know how they say like people have like resting bitch face? I don't know if you've ever been called that, but you have like resting bitch face text messages where it's hard to read a tone in a text, but for some reason, every time I get a message from you, I can just be like, oh yeah, he's bitching pretty hard right now. He's got the wretched bitch text.
Maybe I should put it in italics when I'm bitching versus not bitching. I don't know.
Just capitalization so we think you're screaming at us. I have to watch 3 movies? Like that?
I would be excited to see that just because I don't think I've ever heard you raise your voice ever, Dave.
Oh, man.
See, oh, yeah. Well, because you have it. Obviously, I'm not going to let out like my angry side on this show. Like, I have it. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
It's not exactly something I like to let everybody in on.
Literally broadcast.
It's a rare event, but it's like a tsunami warning.
Mood or somebody really pushed my buttons.
It's like you don't ever want to see a tsunami. Not really, but you've heard about it, so you're kind of curious. That's what it is. Dave's anger. Trivia. We used to be roommates in college. Maybe I've seen it a handful of times. Maybe I know exactly what it looks like. I'll let you know when we get to that level, Jordan. Watch out.
Yeah, throw in a little warning.
I'm a work in progress. What can I say?
Work in progress.
Me too.
Oh, that would have been a good cue, but I missed it. Anybody want to talk about House of the Dragon for a second? You guys watching that show?
I saw some. Yeah, I saw some news about it.
Oh, wow.
I'm enjoying it, but I feel like I'm having instant amnesia while watching it. I just don't. Thank God for the last week on when I watch each one.
Well, you can just get the encyclopedia that it's best on because it's not even really based on a novel. It's like based on an appendix that you would find at the end of another book. But it's just like all the fake history the guy penned.
Right.
Anyway, I thought they'd be excited to talk about it, folks, but we got no.
No, it's fine. I'm enjoying it, but it's not giving me the same feelings of Game of Thrones.
I'm trying to give it a little bit of time because like the first season of Game of Thrones like obviously was slow rolling until they chopped off Ned's head, and then I was like, oh my god, we're doing this. We're killing people that I really like.
Well, whether or not you like A House Full of Dragons, it stirred up some Game of Thrones memories here at the end of the episode. Dave was about to say something, but I wanted to literally just end on Jordan goes, and it chopped off Ned's head. Da-da-da-da-da, and play us off.
Oh man.
Giving it some time. That's all.
David, that's it.
Yeah,
That's all you
guess
got?
so. Yeah. I don't have the strong feelings on the House of Dragons yet.
Same.